Just testing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thanks. Good morning. Before I call our case, let me just check in with our court reporter. Tracy, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you and I'm ready.
All right, great. Now calling proceeding number 24R-0306E. It is October 29th, 2024 at 11 o'clock a.m. And this is a remote public comment hearing. I want to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Melody Mirbaba. I'm an administrative law judge here at the Public Utilities Commission. I'm sure that you were all expecting to see Judge Hahn, as she was previously assigned to this case. Unfortunately, she has moved on from the PUC, and so this proceeding was recently transferred over to me. This public comment hearing was scheduled by decision number R24-0631-I, which was issued on September 4th, 2024. And this is a public comment hearing on proposed amendments to the Commission's rules regulating electric utilities that can be found at 4 CCR 723-3. So I want to welcome and thank all of you for being here today to provide public comments. Before we get started on receiving public comments, I do want to go over some preliminary matters. First, consistent with Commission practice, we are webcasting this hearing, and we do have a court reporter taking down everything that's being said. To make sure that we get a clear record, I'm going to ask that everybody keep your microphones muted until it is your turn to speak. Before we proceed to taking public comments, I'd like everybody who plans to provide public comments to confirm that the name that is appearing for you on Zoom is accurate so that I can call on you should you decide to provide comment. Everyone was required to register for this hearing, so your name should appear as you input it when you're registered for the hearing. When it is time to take comment, I'll ask you to use Zoom's raise a hand feature to signal that you'd like to provide public comment. To do so, click on the reactions button and then select the raise a hand option. If you no longer wish to speak, you may lower your hand. Otherwise, leave your hand raised until you've been called upon. If you're having any trouble using that raise a hand feature, you can go ahead and just turn your video on to signal that you wish to speak. To those of you who may be participating in this hearing by phone, you will need to dial *9 to use the raise a hand feature. And I will call on you by referring to the last 3 digits of your phone number if I don't have a name for you. When your number is called, you'll need to dial *6 to unmute yourself. There are other ways to provide public comments in addition to doing so here today. Generally speaking, the Commission gives written and oral comments the same weight. However, the Commission prefers written comments primarily because people tend to be clearer or be more persuasive in writing than when they present orally. If you want to provide written comments, there are 4 primary ways to do so. You can do that through the Commission's electronic filing system that's available on the Commission's website. You can do that through the file a comment or complaint link on the Commission's website at puc.colorado.gov. You can submit comments via email or regular U.S. mail. The Commission's email address and mailing address are on the Commission's website. To provide a written comment in any of these ways, you'll still need to make sure you include the proceeding number, which is 24R-0306E. That will ensure that the comments are input into this proceeding. You can also provide oral comments by leaving a voicemail message at 303-869-3490. Those comments will then be placed into the record of the proceeding, and I will review them. Before we get started on comments, I just want to share with you what I'm planning to do in terms of next steps in this case. Obviously, I am a little late in joining this proceeding. It's been ongoing for a little bit. I have reviewed all the comments that have been filed to date, but at this time, I'm definitely not ready to issue a decision adopting any rules. In fact, I do have several concerns about the proposed rules, many of which were highlighted through some of the public comments that have been submitted. My plan is to issue a written decision identifying each of my concerns and inviting public comment to address those concerns. I plan to set a deadline for initial comments And then another deadline for responsive comments, basically comments in response to the initial comments. And then I will hold another public comment hearing at which people can provide additional comment as relevant or as needed. So to this end, today's public comment hearing will be continued to December 10th, 2024 at 11 o'clock a.m. It will be held as a fully remote hearing, just as today's hearing is. I will make sure to provide all the information necessary to attend this hearing and the written decision that I'm going to be issuing. I do plan on issuing that decision in the next couple of weeks so that stakeholders have ample time to review my decision and submit responsive comments prior to the December 10th hearing date. So with all of that said, I think we are ready to move forward and to receive public comments. So anybody who wishes to do so, please go ahead and use the raise a hand feature. You can also use that feature if you've got questions about the next steps that I've just outlined. When providing public comment, I ask that you try to speak slowly and enunciate as much as you can so that our court reporter can take down everything that's being said. She will interrupt you if she cannot hear you, so please try to speak loudly as well. Please avoid speaking over me, and I will do the same for you. If somebody covers all of the points that you intended to include in your comments, please feel free during your comments to state that you agree with the points made by that person. All right, so with that, I am just going to look on my screen here to see if anybody has used the raise a hand feature to signal that you would like to provide comments. If you have not done that, please go ahead and do that now. I'll just note that at this point, I don't see that anybody has used that raise a hand feature or turned on their video camera to indicate that they want to provide comment, but I want to go ahead and just wait a little bit to see if we've got folks that are going to join us a little bit late, and I can check in again. Let me also just make sure I'm not missing anybody who has done that, because I am obviously looking at a Zoom screen and sometimes there's more than one page when we have a lot of people. Okay, I do see we have one person who has used the raise a hand feature. If you go ahead and unmute yourself and state and spell your name and let us know if you are speaking on behalf of yourself or an organization or individual.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ellen Howard Kutzer, ELLENHOWARDKUTZER. I'm here on behalf of the Colorado Solar and Storage Association, as well as the Solar Energy Industries Association. I just have a couple of clarifying questions if you're able to provide proposed dates for the next written filings, which I imagine would be in advance of the December 10th hearing. Would love to hear what those might be. Thank you.
Well, I contemplated doing that during the hearing, but it all really depends on exactly when the decision gets issued. And I have some control over that. Obviously, I get my draft done, but our processes on getting the decision out, there are parts of it that I don't control that can cause some delay. So I can't say with any real certainty. I will tell you what I am planning to do, and that hopefully will give you a preview. My plan and my hope is to have a decision issued. Let's see. No later than November 21st. I'm going to aim for it to be a little bit as soon as possible. But there's quite a bit that I think I need to do before I issue this decision in terms of some legal research. So I want to make sure that I am very thorough in what I put out there. So that's why I've kind of said at the far end, November 21st is when I'll issue that decision. And so hold on. All right, so Thanksgiving is the following Thursday. I was just trying to make sure I wasn't saying I'm issuing out Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I had the same thought.
yeah. So I want to issue it then, and let's see, in terms of a timeline, if it doesn't go out earlier than then, the timeline I would anticipate. Yeah, we might just in terms of before the hearing, if I can get it out no earlier than the 21st, we might only have time to have initial comments, written comments filed. If I can get it out earlier than that, then I'll set a deadline for initial written comments and then responsive comments. But if I can't get it out before the 21st, we'll probably just do comments and response that I'll have due on December 6th.
That's helpful. Thank you so much.
Sure. I mean, I am definitely going to try to get it out earlier than that. But again, I don't want to promise anything if I'm not sure that I can meet that promise. So any other questions?
None for me. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Sopkin. I'm going to take you literally waving your hand as using the raise the hand feature the old school way. Go ahead and introduce yourself, spell your name for us, let us know who you're speaking on behalf of, if not on your own personal capacity.
Thank you, Your Honor. Greg Sopkin, Sopkin, representing Black Hills Electric. At the moment, I've forgotten how to raise my hand electronically. So actually, the only question I had was about the hearing date of December 10. And I'm wondering if that's already set. The issue being we actually have a rate case from December 2 to 11, and both of our in-house attorneys will be involved with that. If it's set, it's set, and we'll figure out something.
It's not. And part of the reason why I wanted to share the hearing date today is that I wanted people to let me know if it's going to be an issue. So let me just look at the calendar here. My goal was to try to have another hearing before the end of the year, because I feel as you get closer to the holidays, then, the rest of the year is just kind of gone for everyone. So let me look.
Yep.
I think when is that case done? Was the last day hearing for that case?
The last hearing date is December 11.
Okay. All right, let me just check on something. Okay. I think we can do the hearing on December 16th.
That would certainly work for me, Your Honor.
Okay, and if anybody else has any major conflicts, please feel free to let me know. I mean, the rulemaking hearing, it's not like a standard adjudicatory case where everybody absolutely has to be available. I like to try my best to accommodate folks. I do find that in rulemaking hearings, we end up with the best result when we get a lot of participation from folks. Okay, so unless anybody else speaks up, then we'll go with, it'll be December 16th at 11 a.m. And it will be fully remote like today's hearing. Okay, so for anybody that might have just joined us, if you would like to provide public comment, please use the raise a hand feature in Zoom, which you can access under the reactions button. And then also just to follow up on my discussion with Ms. Pitzer in terms of timelines, with the December 16th hearing, I think we'll give a little bit more time so that we would most likely be able to get initial comments responding to my decision and then any responsive comments to the initial comments. And because I do anticipate being able to get something out no later than November 21st. And if that is the latest date it goes out, then the initial comments deadline would be December 6th, and responsive comment deadline would be around December 11th. Now, you don't quote me on that. That's not firm. I'm going to set the deadlines when I know exactly when the decision is going to get issued. And my goal is to try to give everybody enough time. So I will try to get that decision done as quickly as possible. And then meanwhile, and even though I'm setting these, I'll be setting deadlines, you know, the record is open in this case. And people can submit comments today if you want to. I mean, I'm not prohibiting any comments being submitted, only consistent with any deadlines that I set. Once we're near the end of the case, though, and I'm getting ready to issue a written decision, then I may need to close the comment portion of the hearing. Otherwise, I want to be able to get a written decision issued when comments are continuing to come in. So we're at the point in the case, though, that comments can come in at whenever parties wish for them to. Though I am going to set some deadlines because I think it would be most helpful to get comments responding to the concerns that I plan to identify well before our next public comment hearing. Okay, so with that, I'll just pause one more time and see if anybody wants to provide public comments, either use the raise the hand feature, or go ahead and turn your video on and unmute yourself. And I'll just wait a minute because I know sometimes it can take folks a minute or two to do that. Hi there. Would you like to provide any comments or do you have any questions?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, apologies of also, like Mr. Sopkin, not being able to utilize the raise my hand function.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you could state and spell your name and let us know if you're speaking on behalf of anybody.
Yes, thank you. Casey Canelio, last name spelled Cunilio. I'm an attorney appearing on behalf of the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe. I'm also joined by the tribe's general counsel, Peter Ortego of the tribe's Justice Department. And I just wanted to offer some brief comments on behalf of the tribe. The tribe's been an active participant during this rulemaking and looks forward to offering comments to your forthcoming decision. In the interim, Ute Mountain would like to emphasize to the commission the need for these new rules to have a process that takes the interest of Colorado's 2 resident tribes into account by requiring collaboration, coordination, and consultation between the tribes, utilities, and the commission. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Would anybody else like to provide public comment? You can do so by signaling using the raise a hand feature, which is under the reactions tab, or just turn on your video. Hi there, I see, I want to call on the person identified on the screen as Catherine Zing. If you could state and spell your name and let us know if you're speaking on behalf of yourself or anybody else.
Yeah, hello, greetings, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Catherine Zing, last name spelled Zingg. And I'm speaking on behalf of Grid Alternatives, who has also been actively involved in this case. And as previously mentioned by Your Honor, I would like to state agreement with Ute Mountain Utes comments in terms of required consultation for the 2 Colorado state-based tribes within the process of this proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Anybody else would like to provide public comments? You can signal this by turning on your camera or using the raise the hand feature. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes to make sure that everybody who is appeared to provide comments is able to do so. All right, well, let the record reflect that we have waited and nobody else has signaled that they wish to provide public comment or that they have any questions about the next steps. So with that, I think we are ready to conclude this hearing. However, this hearing is being continued, as I've already explained, to December 16th at 11 a.m. and it will be a fully remote hearing. A written decision providing details on how to join that will be issued in due course, but you can definitely mark your calendars for that hearing because I am continuing it to that date as of right now. All right, I want to thank everybody for appearing and I look forward to seeing your additional comments and to hearing from you at our next hearing. Thank you very much.